the moment I realized the enemy was already inside the pack. Something inside me broke. Not from fear, not from the danger, but from the terrifying truth that nowhere was safe anymore. The clearing stood still, frozen in a silence so heavy it felt like the air itself had turned to stone. Wolves surrounded us, Kael's wolves, but for the first time since stepping into his territory, I didn't feel protected. I felt exposed, hunted. And the man standing in the center of it all, the one cloaked in shadow, eyes gleaming with knowing, he wasn't afraid. He was waiting. If your heart is already racing, if you can feel the danger closing in around Elara and Kael, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Alpha Moon Love Stories. Because this story, it only gets deeper, darker, and more dangerous from here. Kael's hand tightened around mine. Not just protective. Possessive. The bond between us surged again, stronger than before, like something ancient had awakened fully, refusing to be denied any longer. You shouldn't be here, Kael said, his voice low, deadly calm. The cloaked man smiled slowly. And yet, I am. A ripple moved through the pack. Unease. Confusion. Suspicion. I felt it. Not everyone here understood what was happening. And that was the most dangerous part. Because betrayal doesn't come from enemies you can see. It comes from those standing right beside you. Who are you? I whispered, my voice barely steady. The man's gaze snapped to me instantly. And in that moment, I felt it. Recognition. Not of me, but of what I carried. His eyes darkened with something close to obsession. So it's true, he murmured. The heir lives. My stomach twisted. My hand pressed instinctively against the child. Kael stepped forward, placing himself fully between us. You will not speak to her, he growled. The man chuckled softly. You still think this is about her? Those words. They cut deeper than they should have. Because once, that had been true. Speak clearly, Kael demanded. The man's expression sharpened. Very well, Alpha, he said. My name is Darius. The name sent a ripple through the pack. I didn't understand why. But they did. Fear flickered in their eyes. Even the strongest among them shifted uneasily. Kael's body went rigid. You should be dead. Darius smiled wider. That's what makes this interesting. Something wasn't right. The air felt wrong. Heavy. Like something ancient had been disturbed. What do you want? I asked, my voice stronger this time. Darius's gaze returned to me. To witness history, he said softly. To claim what belongs to power. Kael's growl vibrated through the ground. The child belongs to no one but us. Darius tilted his head. Ah, there it is. What? Kael snapped. Attachment. Before anyone could react, a scream tore through the clearing. One of the wolves collapsed. Then another. Chaos erupted instantly. What's happening? Someone shouted. They're being attacked inside the pack. My heart slammed violently against my chest. Inside. Again. Kael's head snapped toward the eastern side of the territory. Move, he commanded. But Darius didn't move. He didn't even flinch. He just watched. Like this was exactly what he wanted. Kael turned to me, his eyes burning with urgency. Stay behind me. Do not leave my side. I won't, I said quickly, because this time I meant it. We ran. The pack surged with us, bodies shifting, claws extending, instincts taking over. But something was wrong. The scent in the air. It wasn't just outsiders. It was mixed. Blended. Hidden. They're masking their scent, Kael muttered. How is that possible? I asked. It shouldn't be. We reached the inner grounds. And that's when I saw it. Not wolves. Not fully. Something else. Creatures moving between shadows, half seen, half felt, striking fast and disappearing before anyone could react. What are those? I whispered. Kael didn't answer immediately. And when he did, his voice was colder than I had ever heard it. Not wolves. The bond inside me flared violently. The child reacted. A pulse of energy surged outward, stronger than before. Brighter. Uncontrolled. The creatures recoiled. For a brief second, everything stopped. Even Kael turned to me in shock. Elara. I didn't mean to. But it was already too late. Because now, they knew. A howl echoed, not from the creatures. From beyond the borders. The North Pack. They had returned. And this time, they weren't alone. The attack came from all sides. Wolves crashed through the tree line, their eyes blazing with hunger and fury. The creatures in the shadows moved with them. Controlled. Commanded. My breath caught. This was planned, I whispered. Kael's expression darkened. Yes. And the one controlling it. We both turned. Darius stood at the edge of the clearing. Watching. Smiling. You let them in, Kael said, his voice filled with deadly realization. Darius didn't deny it. Of course, he said calmly. Did you really think I came alone? Rage exploded from Kael like a storm. You brought war into my pack. No, Darius corrected softly. You brought it the moment you rejected her. Silence. Heavy. Crushing. The truth hung in the air between us. Because deep down, I knew. He was right. Kael's hand tightened around mine again. But this time, it wasn't just protection. It was something else. Something desperate. Elara, he said quietly. I looked at him. Really looked at him. At the man who had broken me. At the alpha who now stood ready to burn the world to protect me. You have to go, he said. No. You have to. I said no. The bond surged violently between us. I'm not running anymore, I said, my voice steady despite the chaos around us. Not from them. Not from you. Not from this. His eyes searched mine. For doubt. For fear. For weakness. But I didn't look away. Because something inside me had changed. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was choosing. You asked if I trusted you, I said. His breath stilled. And now, he asked. I hesitated. Not because I didn't know the answer. But because saying it meant everything would change. I don't, I admitted softly. Pain flickered in his eyes. But the word stopped him. But I choose to stand with you anyway. The world seemed to pause. Just for a second. And in that second, something shifted. Not just in me. In him. I was wrong, Kael said. The words were quiet, but they hit harder than any roar. I rejected you because I was afraid, he continued. Afraid of what the bond meant. Of what you meant. I swallowed hard. And now I know. He stepped closer. His hand lifted, hesitated, then gently touched my face. You are not my weakness, he said. The bond ignited. You are my strength. Everything inside me shattered. The anger. The pain. The resentment. Not gone. But breaking. Cracking under the weight of something stronger. Something deeper. Forgiveness. The child flared again. But this time, it wasn't wild. It wasn't uncontrolled. It was steady. Warm. Alive. Darius's smile faded. Interesting, he murmured. Kael stepped in front of me once more. But now, I stepped beside him. Not behind. Beside. Then come, Darius said, his voice turning cold. Let's see if your bond can survive what comes next. The ground trembled. The forest roared. And from the shadows, something far worse emerged. Not wolves. Not creatures. But something ancient. Something that made even Darius step back. My heart stopped. What is that? Kael didn't answer. Because for the first time, even he didn't know. And then, the creature's eyes locked onto me. Onto the child. And it spoke. A voice that didn't belong to this world. The heir has awakened. Everything went still. Because in that moment, I realized the truth. This wasn't just about packs anymore. This wasn't just about power. This wasn't just about survival. This was something bigger. Something older. Something that had been waiting. For me. For us. For the child. Kael grabbed my hand tightly. Elara. But I already knew. Nothing would ever be the same again. And as the creature took one step forward, the ground split beneath us. The world tilted. And darkness swallowed everything whole. To be continued in Season 2.